In the late 1990s, Toys R Us looked almost unstoppable. With more than 1,500 stores around the world, the company had become the place where generations of kids went to dream. Walk into a Toys R Us, and you weren't just looking at shelves of toys. You were looking at an entire childhood. Barbies, action figures, video games, bicycles, Lego sets. For decades, Toys R Us had mastered the business of selling toys. But then the internet changed the rules. And one decision would help create the company that eventually destroyed its advantage. In the year 2000, Toys R Us made a deal with a relatively young internet company called Amazon. The agreement seemed almost perfect. Amazon would handle the complicated world of online retail, the website, technology, and logistics. Toys R Us would provide what it already knew better than almost anyone else: the toys. It was supposed to be a partnership. Instead, it became one of the most expensive mistakes in the company's history. Amazon was supposed to make Toys R Us the exclusive toy retailer on its platform, but Amazon eventually allowed other toy sellers to appear on the site. Toys R Us wasn't happy. The company sued Amazon and eventually won. But winning the lawsuit didn't undo the damage, because while Toys R Us was fighting Amazon in court, something much more important was happening. The internet was becoming the future of shopping, and Toys R Us wasn't building that future for itself. The company had effectively outsourced one of the most important parts of its business to Amazon. Instead of developing a powerful online operation of its own, Toys R Us was depending on another company to handle the digital side of the business. And there was another problem. Amazon was learning. Every sale, every search, every customer interaction was giving Amazon more information about how people bought toys online. Amazon wasn't just selling toys, it was learning how online retail worked. And while Toys R Us remained one of the biggest names in physical toy stores, Amazon kept expanding. Then came another problem: debt. Toys R Us was carrying billions of dollars in debt, making it much harder to invest aggressively in technology, stores, and the kind of digital infrastructure it needed to compete. The company that once seemed too big to fail was slowly losing the advantages that had made it powerful. And the irony is that Toys R Us didn't fail because people suddenly stopped buying toys. People still wanted toys, they simply changed where they bought them. By the time Toys R Us tried to seriously compete online, Amazon had already spent years building the machine that Toys R Us had neglected. In 2017, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy, and in 2018, nearly all of its U.S. stores closed. A company that once dominated the toy industry had become a warning about what happens when a business mistakes today's success for tomorrow's security. Because perhaps the biggest mistake Toys R Us made wasn't trusting Amazon. It was trusting that the way people bought toys would never fundamentally change. Amazon didn't simply beat Toys R Us at selling toys. It helped redefine how toys were sold, and Toys R Us never caught up.